I'll tell you after this picks against the spread segment. Oh, we're not on the black screen. Okay, well, let me just pull up Eric's. There we go. All right, what's going on, everybody? We're live. I thought we were on the black screen. I was going to switch to our face cams, but we weren't. So, just completely messed up the opening, but I don't care. We got just a pretty laid-back podcast planned here. We're going to do picks against the spread, and then we're going to talk about what we think is better, the lottery or the playoffs for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, actually, I'm going to wait on that. I'm just going to let chat fill up. I've been scrambling, making that thumbnail. I just put out that mailbag. Make sure you guys go watch it after this podcast. I've just been scrambling, working around the last hour or two. Hopefully you guys like the thumbnails, the thumbnail for this podcast, the thumbnail for that mailbag video, because I've spent a lot of time on them. I'm going to try and make the thumbnails a little bit better. So hopefully you guys enjoy those. Of course, tonight the Blazers play. They play against the Charlotte Hornets. This should be a game they should win. We can talk about this a little bit more once we get into our picks against the spread segment. But we just like, having some people in here to start this picks against the spread segment so that we have enough people voting. That's why we usually don't start it off right away. That's why we usually wait. So we have like 20, 30, 40 people in here voting. But we got to start it right now because it's 4 o'clock and the first games tip off at like 4:10.
Yeah, chat obviously is cheating with their horrible record, right?
I know. Well, I got a slide for the records now. I think it looks pretty cool. So we're improving, slowly but surely. What's going on, Khalid? What's going on, Lil Bakel? What's going on, Tommy Thompson, Portland Made, and Trevin? Trevin, as always. Dame Dalla, already watched the mailbag. I appreciate it, man. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you asked a question on that, because I only had like 7 questions last week, and a lot of times usually I can't answer them all because the video would be too long. This one I had to answer them all, and I actually had to usually I like the videos being 15 minutes or so, and I had to kind of string out my answers just a little bit more than I'm used to. So make sure you guys go watch that after this podcast and go leave me a question. What's up, Solar Money Yeet? Tommy Thompson. Yeah, we're going to get into picks against the spread. So me and Eric have started doing something where we double down on a pick, which makes it worth 2 wins or 2 losses. I think I've lost both of those so far. But for chat, what I'm going to do is anybody who donates during the picks against the spread segment gets to make their choice on what they want to double down on for chat, if that makes sense. So we'll have chat double down on a game, and I'll just have one random person out of the chat pick. That random person can be you with any donation. Doesn't matter how much. That's just an easy way for us to pick. If nobody donates, I'll just pick somebody who donated last. As far as I can remember, Dame Dalla donated like $25 on our last post-game stream, so it'll probably be him. Mailbag was fire. See, he's already working his way into my heart with that one. So let's hop straight into, let me see here. That is not my, that's my thumbnail, not my picks against the spread slide. So I gotta do some stuff on the fly here. Quick clicks and all that. What's going on, Eric? How's your day going? While I figure this out.
It's going great. Got a Blazer game tonight. Yay.
I botched the picks against the spread slide. Dang it, man. Dang it. Okay, hold on. We're gonna.
I got my Skype double call in the window too.
I think I just got to go back to Photoshop and I gotta resave it. Gotta hit Control Z a bunch, I think.
Oh yeah, national championship tonight.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a little bit while I bring this up in save.
Dame Dalla, I think I'm gonna take the Tigers.
Yeah, who you guys got in that game tonight? When does that game start?
I think a little after 5.
A little after 5. Okay, dokie. So a little after this podcast, that game will start. I'm just resaving this slide because it got messed up. I just gotta resave it. That's why that's why I took Eric's picture off the screen. Okie dokie. I think we're almost good to go here. Just now we want Eric's Skype. This has been the most scuffed podcast opening in the history of Blazers Uprise. I don't care, though. I've been productive today. Got out that mailbag. Started recording Blazers Pulse. Didn't end up finishing the recording. Got to finish that in a little bit. But got Blazers Pulse coming out tomorrow, I think. But let me pull this up here. All right. There we go. All right. So picks against the spread. Here we go.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm like in the top right corner of the YouTube video, you can see like the double Skype video.
Oh, that thing popped back up. Yeah, gotta get rid of that. I gotta get another monitor. That's the thing. I can't figure out how to attach another monitor to this monitor because it would be so much easier for me to just put Eric's Skype feed on a different monitor and just capture that monitor. The problem is I have to put Eric's Skype feed on my monitor, so like I have half my monitor taken up by Eric's camera here. So that's why I just muted it because I had to go save the slide. But anyway, I gotta make sure not to move my mouse over here because I'll freaking mess with your face. Yeah. Anyway, picks against the spread. I was thinking that joke right when you made it. That was funny. All right. So here we go. Here's our records. All right. These were our records from Friday. I went 3-8. I said that I wasn't like doing my normal. I wasn't using my normal method of picking. I wasn't being that logical. I felt like it might work out, though. It didn't work out, so I'm gonna go back to being logical. Eric was 5-6. Chat was 4-7. But record-wise, Eric's the only one above 500. I've been struggling lately. I've been in a drought. I've been in a slump. I'm 88-91. That's not where I want to be. Eric is doing pretty well right now. He is 5 games ahead of me. He's 93-86. Chat, you guys got to pick it up. Chat is 77-90. 77-90. Me personally, I'm 20 over 500. Oh, Tommy Thompson is 20 over 500. You guys can keep score for your own picks at home if you want to. Yeah, I mean, shoot, 77-90. You guys should be following Tommy's advice, I guess, because apparently he's 20 games over 500. So anyway, let's
wait. Both myself and chat were saved by the double down.
Oh yeah.
I forgot who picked. It was someone picked Indiana last week for chat, and they got the double down. Otherwise, they would have been 3-8 or 3-7.
Yeah, they would have been 2-9 if they lost that game because it would have been 2 losses instead of 2 wins.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they would have been 2-9 if Indiana didn't pick that up. I thought Miami over Brooklyn was an easy pick. Brooklyn didn't have Kyrie and Miami lost. So that's, of course, that happened. So anyway, here we go. First game.
It was Zacho.
Zacho, you came in clutch, man. Came in clutch. Eric might be cheating. Eric's...
Hey, Jakob... I don't want to hear that. You can go back and look at all my picks and match them up.
He was withholding injury information from me, though, because I was in a rut where I was waking up like right before these podcasts, and he would like text me like the games so I could make the slides, and then I'd focus on the slides instead of doing my research. I thought, maybe he disclosed important information. No important information disclosed. And then I'd bet for a team that had like his starting 5 out and was favored by 20 or something. So. What's good,
like I said back then, my bad for thinking you actually kept up on basketball.
Hey, when you got to keep up on these graphics, it's a lot harder to keep up on basketball. So anyway, let's go into the first game of the night. We got the Pistons at home going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm rolling with the Detroit Pistons. This is just a toss-up game between 2 trash teams. When 2 really bad teams are playing against each other and the road team is favored, I like to go with the home team. Detroit is a 1-point underdog at home. They still got Derrick Rose. They still got Drummond. They still got Luke Kennard. They still got decent players. So I'm rolling with the Pistons there. What do you got, Eric?
I'm going to take New Orleans because they've once again been playing better lately. Detroit's been crap all year. So I'm going to go with the hotter team, even though they're a bit banged up as well.
I missed Henry M. Super Chat saying, why does Stotts still have a job? Valverde lost his. Thank you for the $2 donation. Then he said later, yo, family, I'm here with the Daily Fire Stotts Super Chat. That's funny. Well, I just made a video for you talking about could Stotts get fired, that mailbag, so you got to leave it in there, man. You got to leave that propaganda everywhere. Eric's keeping track of chat's picks. Henry
Looks
M.
like they're going Nola.
Henry M. You can select which game you want to double down on. If you want to participate, if not, we'll pick somebody else. Second game, we got Indiana versus Philadelphia.
Jake, just for the record, we have to, in order to get these graphics up, we do the lines pretty early. So yeah, some of them might have changed in the last few hours.
Yeah. I don't see how it'd be -5 Detroit. That's kind of. But games are all over the place. It's not like a huge. I don't know. It's not a huge difference. Obviously, probably change the pick, but we'll see. Yeah, that's the thing. Getting out these graphics, the lines change and stuff. So that's the only downfall with the graphics. But I think it's a lot better with these graphics. These graphics look nice in my opinion. So anyway, let me drag this over. There we go. Indiana against the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia is favored by 1.5 points. I'm rolling with Philadelphia. I tend to bet heavy on Indiana, but I'm rolling with the 76ers for this game.
Just to let you know, Bones, Embiid is out.
Embiid is out. Well, I'm still rolling with Philadelphia. You kind of got screwed over by the last spread since now it's like -5 for Detroit. Okay, you kind of got screwed over. I'll get screwed over on this one and by taking the 76ers. It'll balance out.
But I mean, that injury happened last week, and it was announced he was out for like 1 or 2 weeks. So you should have known that, man.
Hey, I did.
That wasn't like a new thing.
I did know that, but I forgot. When I'm pounding out these slides, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm getting out these slides as fast as I possibly can. I'm firing through them. Yeah, I'm still rolling with the 76ers. Screw it. Who you got? The Pacers then. I'm
gonna take the Pacers at home without playing against Embiid or an Embiid-less Philly. It was heavy on the Sixers. I think it's now 5-5. So we got.
Torrey pretends he knew. Brogdon's questionable too. Brogdon might be just as important for Indiana as Embiid is for the 76ers, because without Embiid, they'll just let Ben Simmons make a little bit more. All right. So next slide. Did we get that tie broken? We good?
Yeah, I think chat's going to go with Philly.
All right.
And Henry, make sure you let us know what game you feel strongest about.
Yep. Here we go. Boston. Chicago. Boston is favored by a whopping 9.5 points. But I'm still rolling with Boston at home. Much better team. Easy pick for Boston here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm also taking Boston. Don't trust Chicago at all.
Yep.
Boston's pretty good when they have their guys.
Knowing how crazy things have been lately, I don't know what it's been the past week, but knowing how crazy
Celtics will win.
Or no, the Bulls will win.
Bulls will win.
Yeah, Bulls will win. Knowing how crazy things have been lately. Our next game. We got. Let me just say before I play the stinger, I'm working on getting like 3D logos out. So like every team that the Blazers play, I always make a 3D logo of that team before the game. So I already made one in Minnesota. So on this little transition slide, I think it looks a lot better that Minnesota's logo is kind of 3D. I don't know. I just think it looks a lot cleaner. You got like the 3D logo there. I don't know. But like once I'm done with these, if you guys want, I could maybe upload a folder somewhere if you guys wanted like 3D cool looking logos like that. But yeah, I got Minnesota versus Oklahoma City. This is in Minnesota. Go ahead.
Henry M said he doesn't want to pick, so we'll give it to Dame Dollar.
Yeah, we'll give it to Dame Dollar.
Dame Dollar, you got it. Yeah, whatever
at
one
the end, just keep track of it. We got OKC favored by 2.5 points in Minnesota. I'm doubling down on OKC, which might be a bit bold, but OKC's been playing really well lately. The Timberwolves, I believe, are still without Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, he's been like questionable the last few games, so I haven't seen an official injury report, and I didn't want to look right before we went on.
He's been one of those guys. He's been one of those guys where he's been like day to day for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So even if he plays,
Trevin says no cat.
No cat? Yeah. No cat. Thunder's playing well. I think that's an easy double down pick. Who you got, Eric?
I'm also taking OKC. They're just other than that inexplicable Laker game the other day when Lakers were missing three
Oh,
starters,
I
yet
know.
somehow blew out OKC. Um, OKC's just been the better team lately.
Yeah. I'm feeling that pick. Hopefully, I can finally get a double down pick. You still haven't picked yours, and we got 3 games left, so we'll see. We'll see who you're picking for yours. Here we go. We got Portland, Charlotte, in Portland. With how Portland's been playing lately, I can't roll with Portland. I can't roll with Portland lately, man. It's just like
Not 8
it's
points.
funny because chat was heavily betting for Portland at the start of the season, the first couple months. Now I've noticed they're a lot more even, if not voting more for Charlotte. But I was surprised to see that the spread was 8 points. I was very surprised to see that the spread was 8 points. So I think that the Blazers still win. I don't think the Blazers win by 8 or more, though. I think this is a pretty safe under pick for the Charlotte Hornets. Who you got, Eric?
Yeah, I'm just going to take the points. I don't trust the Blazers blowing anyone out right
Exactly.
now. But if they are going to blow anyone out, this is one of the only games coming up, which we'll get to in a few minutes, that they have a chance to do so. So they probably will blow them out, and we'll all be wrong. But whatever.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Who's chat picking for that one? I'm trying to keep track.
Um,
I'm curious. It looks
it
heavy.
started
Portland.
off heavy Charlotte, but now it swung towards Portland, so it looks like they're going with the Blazers.
Alrighty. Well, that's a game that will gain on them, sadly. Here we go. Sacramento in Sacramento going up against the Orlando Magic. This was the toughest game for me to pick. It's two bad teams. Magic are a little bit better. Sacramento's at home. Um, I got the Orlando Magic in that game. I just think they're. I don't know. Either one of these teams could win. It's a 50-50 game, so I'm going to take the points.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me to pick. I just have a feeling the Kings have played a lot of tough teams lately, and I think they're just going to get a win tonight. So I'm going
Yep.
to go with the Kings.
Alrighty. Yeah, Ken Birch has been playing good for the Magic. I think he's really underrated. They have 3 solid centers. Hey, like, Ken Birch would have been a guy to try and poach for just a backup center to hold us over because they got 3 centers there in Orlando. He is making $3 million, so I don't know how that'd work out salary-wise. I guess I don't know. That would create some problems salary-wise. But that would be like the type of guy to go and perch if we were trying to make a playoff run, which I'm not sure we're trying to make, and we'll get into that later as well. So anyway, here we go with the last game of the night, and you still haven't doubled down, so I know you're doubling down on this game. I mean, in all honesty, I make the slide, so I already knew what game he was doubling down on, but we got the Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm rolling with the Cavs with the 13.5
Ooh.
points. So the Lakers are favored by 13.5 points, but I think AD is questionable, and LeBron is out, or vice versa. Both of those guys might not play. I know they just killed the Thunder without either of those guys, which is probably why the spread is so high. But without LeBron or AD, I think 13.5 points is a lot. So I'm rolling with the Cavs there. Who you got, Eric?
I thought LeBron was playing, but I could be wrong.
I'll show your pick. You can
I'm
see
I'm doubling down on the Lakers. Yeah, Cleveland's terrible on the road. Yeah, Lakers are the better team and should win going away.
All right.
This was a tough day to double down on. I didn't feel like super strong about any of the games.
Yeah, I mean, the stronger I feel about the games, the worse my luck is. So I kind of like that for me. It made it a little bit easier to pick a game. So anyway, that's picks against the spread. We'll follow that up Wednesday. We'll see how we did. Create some betting interest, or create some interest in every NBA game. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is why I like it. Actually, let's look at the scores right now. Let's see how these first 2 games are started. I'm into this. I need all the luck I can get because me and Eric will definitely put something on the line between each other, and then we'll do a giveaway. 76ers are up 11-5. I don't know if Brogdon's playing that game or not.
Dame Dollar, come on, man. We need your pick, or we're going to switch to someone else for the double down.
We need a double down pick. Here I am already saying the score for one of these games. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, give us your double down pick. If not him, then we'll do I don't know. We'll do Zacho since he came through clutch last time. Or we'll do Trevin. We'll do Trevin actually.
Dame Dollar says between Sixers and Thunder.
Okay, Dame Dollar says Thunder game.
Thunder.
All right, which is what my double down pick was as well.
So you guys both lose twice on that one. No,
yeah, right. We're gonna gain on you. You're gonna go first to last. Like boom. All righty. So transition back here. Blazers play the Hornets tonight. Let's preview that game a little bit before we talk about playoffs or lottery. Blazers play the Hornets tonight. Blazers are 16-24. Their schedule gets insanely tough after this game. They got the Hornets tonight, but then after that, on the road versus the Rockets, on the road versus the Mavericks, on the road versus the Thunder, at home versus the Warriors, at home versus the Mavericks, at home versus the Pacers, at home versus the Rockets, on the road versus the Lakers. So other than that Warriors game,
they don't play a non-playoff team until the Pelicans in February 11th or something like that.
Jeez, yeah, the start of February. I wasn't even looking. Okay, at home versus the Jazz, on the road versus the Nuggets, at home versus the Spurs, which is like borderline playoff team, on the road versus the Jazz, at home versus the Heat. So this stretch, I don't know how many games that was. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I'm counting on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14. All right, that's 14 games. Chat, what do you think the Blazers' record is over that 14-game stretch? I'm curious. I'm going to go with 4-10. I wish I could go with something better. Maybe they get Nurkic back, start playing better. They'll obviously have the trade deadline in there, so who knows what happens trade-wise. But honestly, at this point, I'm guessing 4-10. We did this exercise around Christmas time, looking at the next 9 games, and people were saying, 6-3, 5-4, and then we lost like 5 in a row, and I think we went like 2-7 over that stretch or something like that. So I want to know what you guys think will go over this 14-game stretch, because this is the hardest 14-game stretch of the entire season. We can't go 0-10 because it's a 14-game stretch, but
but only you will get this joke, but Trevin's the only king speed we have in chat.
Oh, I know. Only king speed we got in chat. Hey, King Speed's been better lately, though. Let me just say that.
That's true.
I don't know what the hell happened. Something clicked in his head, and now he's spitting truth. But anyway.
The only good thing is after those 14 games, the schedule gets much easier the rest of the way.
We might have the easiest schedule in the NBA after these 14 games, honestly. We have the 10th hardest from this point on. This 14-game stretch is brutal. But then after that, we have 16 and 19 games where we play against teams without winning records. So if we're able to somehow go 7-7 over this 14-game stretch, then we position ourselves where if, we get healthier, we make a move at the trade deadline, whatever. 16 and 19 teams are under 500, say we go 16-3 magically, with upgrades and getting people healthier. That would leave us at, let me do some quick math here. I'm doing quick math in my head. Should never do it on a podcast, but I am. We would be 39, 7 plus 3, 10. We'd be 39-34. So maybe we could push for the 7 seed at that point. But that's if we go 500 over this insanely hard stretch, then go 16-3 over our very easy stretch where we'd probably be favored in 16 of the 19 games. That's that's such a tall task just to get to 39-34. If we lose, okay, this game, I wouldn't say it's pivotal because the season's already looking pretty lost as it is. But this game, if we lose this game, playoffs, I don't care about playoffs. I'm not worried about, I'm already not really worried about playoffs, but all shred of interest in the playoffs just out the window. The window. Given how hard the stretch is, if we can't beat the Charlotte freaking Hornets at home, especially when we get Whiteside back, if we can't beat the Hornets at home, I see us really struggling. That's the thing. I expect us to go 4-10 over this next 14-game stretch anyway, so I guess it's kind of just in a tough, we're going to be in a pretty screwed position no matter what, because 4-10 would leave us 20-34 over this next 14-game stretch. I expect 4-10. I mean, we're playing 11 of the next 14 games are against playoff teams. One of the teams is the Spurs, who's playing like a playoff team. One of the teams that isn't. So that you could say 12 of the next 14 games are against playoff level teams. So 4-10 is pretty. Like, we only have 4 wins against winning teams so far this season. So beating 2 of them, 2 of the 11, 2 of the 12, and winning 2 of the games we're not supposed to, 4-10 over this 14-game stretch. Like, I feel like that's pretty reasonable. Maybe we go 5-9. But still, that leaves us at 21-33. Like, I don't see us coming out of this stretch with any hope of the playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah, and so if we do go 4-10, then we'd have to go. Even if we went 16-3 during that stretch you were talking about, we'd still be a game under 500. That's bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a super rough stretch. Maybe we can turn it around, but like this Hornets game, I mean, I'm still gonna, obviously watch the games, cover the games, do all that. But this Hornets game, I feel like, is a bit of a, I don't know. It's one of those games that if we lose, like, it's just, okay, what's even the point in focusing on wins if we can't beat the Hornets if we have this stretch coming up? I would say, okay, maybe beating this team could lead to some momentum, but we've shown in the past, beating the Raptors, what did that lead to? A blowout in Minnesota where we lost by 20 to a team without Karl Anthony Towns. Like, no win has been able to give this team any sort of momentum all season long. So it's like, this is the type of stretch where we'd have to have momentum. With these injuries, with how much we've been struggling, we'd need to build momentum going into the stretch, and maybe we could like rattle off some wins against good teams if we had some momentum going into the stretch. But we've shown that we can't build momentum all season long. So I don't expect this stretch to go well, to be honest.
No. Yeah, we had like a winnable few games, and we win 3 in a row against like Chicago twice and OKC. And then we lose to the Lakers, and I forgot who we lost. We lost to someone we shouldn't have lost to during that stretch. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, like you said, we get a big win, comeback win in Toronto, and then we follow it up 2 days later and lay a dud completely. Yep. Don't even show up in Minnesota. Yep. Yeah, so if they haven't gotten a wake-up call yet, I don't think it's coming.
Yep.
So yeah, like losing tonight wouldn't wake them up and make them good or like try harder from now on. In fact, if they lose tonight, I'm kind of on the might as well let Simons and Little get 30 minutes a game and see what they can do, train.
Which I don't consider tanking.
Right.
You know what I mean? People will be like, oh, let's tank. Let's not play Dame or CJ for the rest of the season. First off, NBA wouldn't allow that. Dame wouldn't allow that. That's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, fans wouldn't, like, there's a big portion of the fan base would be kind of pissed off with that. That's not going to happen. That's not an option. I'm tired of hearing people discuss it like it is an option. Even though, and this is a perfect segue, being in the lottery would probably be better for the Portland Trailblazers at this point. I mean, it wouldn't be horrible. You look at the standings right now, we're 2 games out of the 8th seed. We're 2 games of having the 5th pick in the draft. So, I mean, like, that's a pretty good position to be in, I think. You know what I mean? Like, yes, okay, say we get good enough and the Lakers get an injury and still hold on to the 1 seed, and maybe LeBron and AD isn't there. Maybe we could get the 8th seed and knock them out of the first round of the playoffs if they lose one of those guys, with us being healthy or whatever. You never know. Especially with our, easy late season schedule with how bad the teams around the 8th seed are. We could get the 8th seed as like a 35-win team. A team could be 35-47 and possibly get the 8th seed this year. But then if we don't end up getting it, we have a very real chance of getting a mid-lottery pick. But that's the thing, like, the title of this podcast is, what do you guys think would be better for the Portland Trailblazers? Ending up in the lottery or ending up as the 8th seed of the playoffs? I honestly think it'd be the lottery unless we were going up, unless the 1 seed was the Denver Nuggets or the Houston Rockets. Where getting the 8th seed, I think that those are teams we could beat with us being healthier, maybe making some improvements to the way we play, because that's still a problem. But if not, if it's like a healthy Lakers team, lottery is going to be better for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, 14th pick versus 15th pick, like, that doesn't mean much. I don't want what I'm saying to get confused with this. I see a lot of fans saying, "Oh, we got to make sure to get that lottery pick," as if like, "Oh, we got to make sure to get that 14th pick at least. Hell, we got to get that 14th pick and not make the playoffs. If we make the playoffs, we're gonna get the 15th pick." The difference between the 14th pick and the 15th pick is so meaningless, so arbitrary that like it doesn't matter on that level. But with all these teams bunched up, 2 games could be the difference between the 8th seed and like the 8th or 9th pick. That pick is going to be better for this Portland team long term because I mean you're looking at possibly being able to trade up a little bit. You're possibly looking at Obi Toppin. You're looking at like a decent prospect, or if we have the contracts that we're able to trade, that 9th pick looks attractive if you try to trade for a solid starter. So I think it'd be better.
See, what's weird for me is I don't think anything has changed in terms of how good we could still be heading into the playoffs if everything goes best case scenario. So, like, if you get Nurk back and he's anywhere close to what he was last year before the injury, I'm not expecting him to be that. I'm just saying best case scenario, he gives you like 20 minutes a game at close to what he was last year. Yeah. You get Collins back full strength. It was his off arm, so if he's able to play, he can start conditioning a month before he can play. So like he shouldn't be too far behind catching up. So that gives him a month almost to get ready for the playoffs. So you got your 2 starting bigs back. You make a couple of trades, even if they're on the level of last year, or buyout pickup like Cantor. So you add a Hood and Cantor to this roster, aka like a Covington and someone else, or even not even that.
Granted, I'm not sure how easy it's going to be for us to land a buyout guy, considering how much worse we are compared to last year. But
yeah, but I'm saying like it doesn't have to be through the buyout market. We have an open roster spot that we can sign someone. Maybe we sign like a diamond in the rough type guy. Like Kenny Wooten got picked up today by the Knicks, but that was someone who was pretty high on a lot of teams' radars and could have helped us defensively and been a big that we need right now. But, maybe after the trade deadline, we actually use that roster spot to add someone. And, maybe Skal comes back, gives us a few minutes. So if we got like a Robert Covington at the trade deadline, that makes up for the loss of Hood. And then we have possibly Melo in like offensive lineups when we need buckets. And then we have Collins for defense. So the power forward, nothing's changed from that from like a month or 2 ago when we were thinking we just need to survive until that point. But the only thing that's changed is we've done worse than we were hoping we'd be at this point. Like we needed to be around 500 or a little better to have a legit shot. So the only thing that's changed outside of that is the best case scenario would lead to the 8th, maybe 7th seed. Whereas before we were hoping to stay close enough to the 6th seed so we could possibly move up into that 4 to 6 range once we got guys back, which is completely out of the possibility now.
Yeah. I mean,
but if we made a couple of trades and they were good trades and we traded Bazemore for a huge upgrade at the wing and all of a sudden we'd be a lot better and then we get guys healthy, like this team could still be good. I'm not saying they could upset the Lakers, but all it takes is for one of those two stars to be hurt or hobbling during that series and we have a chance to win that one. So
I
it's
think
not
they'd have to be completely out. I don't think if they were hobbled, I still think we wouldn't really have a chance. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to, if we can get healthy, but I don't think this team, like without making a move, is good enough to knock out the Denver Nuggets or the Houston Rockets or the Utah Jazz right now. If they just get healthy and don't make a move, because they need 3-and-D wing defenders. They got to get one of those, and if they do and then get healthy, I think they'd have a chance against either LA team if one of those star guys was out. So one of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, one of Anthony Davis, LeBron James, if one of those guys ended up being out. Or they'd have a chance against Denver, Houston, Utah. And that's if they add a wing defender, turn Whiteside into an Otto Porter Jr. who ends up being healthy during the stretch run, or turn Whiteside into a Jang and Covington package. We need one of those guys. Maybe there's other guys out there that I can't really name off the top of my head right now. But this, like you said, this team still can be good. At this point, though, I think there needs to be a move made. It ties right back into what we've always said. There needs to be a move made for future assets, and especially if we want to make noise this year, I think we need to shuffle around the roster a little bit more. Because people are like, oh, I'd love to keep Whiteside just to have him playing 20 minutes per game off the bench as a backup center. We don't need a backup center playing 20 minutes per game. Especially when we'll have Scal coming back. I thought Scal was a solid backup center. We don't need a backup center playing 20 minutes per game when he's on an expiring contract, might leave, when he's a guy who might not be happy being a backup center and he might not play well because of it. And then, if he's not happy, then he'd leave. We don't need that compared to a 3-and-D wing who could start and give us like 30 to 33 minutes per game. So we need to make a move if we want to be a good team this year. And if we want to be a good team next year, if we want to be a good team 3 years from now, we have to make a move this year, because letting these expiring contracts go to waste is going to be a mistake if we do it. We got to turn them into tradable contracts that we can trade next year or the year after in order to make a trade for a star. So literally, there's just I don't know how we got onto this subject again. I've kind of just tied everything together here, but we got to make a trade at the trade deadline, and that's what I'm waiting for, man.
Well, going over my best case scenario, if you don't have the trade part of that, like pick up some wing help, then it won't matter how good Nurk and Collins come back to, because we don't have a chance in the playoffs, even if we made the playoffs. So, we have no one on this roster who can guard either of the Clippers' wings. We don't have anyone who can really guard LeBron. We don't have anyone that can really guard AD. So we're pretty much screwed, barring bringing in someone who can guard those guys in a trade.
Yeah,
and we're not going to double team them either. That's the most messed up part. Is it's not like we're going to try something different or throw something at them that they haven't seen from us or anything like that.
Exactly. I mean, and then you go into the problem where, okay, if we get trapped, you know what I mean? That's the thing. We got to upgrade in other areas so that we can offset our struggles when Damian Lillard gets trapped. Having a 40% three-point shooter would help with that. An Otto Porter Jr. healthy, that would help with that in a way. We'd still struggle more than we should because Terry Stotts has shown that he is able to figure out a trapping defense when the pick and roll gets trapped. Even during the playoff run last year, I don't think he figured it out. I thought he won in spite of not figuring it out.
Well, OKC didn't trap much at all, and Dame went off. And then Denver tried to. They don't have an AD type player.
I mean, Paul Millsap's 6'7", 6'8", doesn't really get off the ground, not a great trapping defender. Jokic is slow as hell, not a good trapping defender. If you're playing a Houston, Capella is more mobile than people think, and you got PJ Tucker, who is super physical and really good at smothering offensive players. If you play a team like Denver isn't really the type to do that, but we wouldn't really be able to get to the rim all that effectively since we don't have a stretch five, and Gobert would just sit there in the paint. So in that situation, we'd need an Otto Porter Jr. type of player. That's the thing is OKC didn't trap, and then I thought Denver was worse equipped to trap us than maybe any playoff team last year because Jokic is slow and Millsap doesn't really get off the ground and is super, super small. So we didn't really have to deal with it on the level that we dealt with it against the Pelicans the year before. When we played against the Pelicans, look what happened. We got absolutely
Rondo
crushed.
And Anthony Davis setting the traps to great defenders.
Honestly, if we were to play the Lakers in the playoffs, I would rather have Anthony Davis out than LeBron James.
Yeah,
because ain't no way we have a chance. Even if LeBron's out, now I'm thinking about this. If LeBron's out, we're still not getting past that team because they're literally going to trap us to death with Anthony Davis. JaVale McGee is kind of mobile. You know what I mean? they're literally just going to trap us to death with Anthony Davis. We're not going to have an answer. I mean, you look at that Pelicans team that swept us. Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo devoured us. They're both Lakers now. So, like, even if LeBron's hurt, it's like...
And you got playoff Rondo.
Yeah, playoff Rondo prepares really well for playoff games.
He knew every one of our plays before we even
prepares
went
really
down the
well
court.
for us, especially. He showed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... God, dude.
They don't have Drew Holiday. I guess Danny Green's a pretty good defender, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too, is they got better pieces than the...
But they got
Pelicans
LeBron,
had.
who's, when he's motivated, is still a good defender.
I know, you're talking about LeBron in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing, man, is we gotta... I mean, it's just somehow, like, I don't know. This podcast is literally just spitballing, and we're literally tying in basically every narrative we've talked about in the past month into this podcast. Because this is just tying straight back to, we need a new damn coach. Like, you know, we need a new coach because we can't figure out how to beat a trap to save our lives.
Not happening.
So... I don't know. That's the thing. Is like if we can't figure it out, then we need elite 3-point shooters. We need an Otto Porter Jr. there to hit shots, and we need that space.
This is the beauty of Otto Porter Jr. If we acquired him, if he is hurt and we're pretty much falling out of the playoff picture, you can either not bring him back at all, or maybe bring him back towards the end of the season just to get kind of acclimated to the system or whatever. But it's kind of like a stealth tank without tanking, but it helps us next year, and it doesn't like change the direction of our team right now because you're basically just like assuming it would be like Bazemore and minimum contracts or whatever.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to put that is if he plays, he could help us make the playoffs and be competitive in the playoffs. If he doesn't play, he'll help our lottery pick get higher. So either way, I mean, that's a good thing. There's no really downside there. And then next year, if he plays, he'll help us out. If he doesn't play, he's a $27 million expired contract that we can trade in a win-now trade. So there's literally no downside whatsoever. So I disagree with Zacho Calipano saying Otto Porter Jr. has negative value. Not to us, maybe to Chicago. But that's exactly why we should possibly trade for him, because if he has negative value to Chicago, and they want to get rid of his contract, maybe even give up a second-round pick to get rid of his contract and would be willing to take back an expiring like Whiteside, Otto Porter Jr. with us in our situation has no negative value to us. If he has negative value to the other team, that's when you go and get that guy. If he's more valuable to you than the other team.
He was making fun of the Twitter situation about Otto Porter.
Oh yeah, Zacho. Okay, yeah. Zach. Actually, me and Zacho, I think, DM'd about that, and we're laughing about that. So, Zacho's being sarcastic. Zacho's really good at being sarcastic, or he's really bad at being sarcastic, since it's really hard for people to tell when he's being sarcastic. But that's for anybody who does think that Otto Porter Jr. has negative value.
Tommy Thompson, Otto has a player option next year for $27.5 million. So I have no reason to believe he would opt out of that contract next year, given his current injury status and all of that stuff. So we would own his bird rights the year after if he opts in. If he opted out, we'd still own his bird rights, so we could re-sign him for less and longer years this summer. But like I said, I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to opt in. He's going to be an expiring contract next year. And next year, I think we'll do better because we'll be healthier. Maybe we can figure some things out in terms of our goddamn coaching staff, Maybe Stotts doesn't make excuses for himself to not coach because of injuries. But, I expect us to be in a much better position to make a win-now trade next year. So we need expiring contracts next year. So it makes sense for us right now to trade our expiring contracts this year for 2-year contracts, which are expiring next year. So Gorgie Jang, Otto Porter Jr., guys like that.
And, I mean, until the trade deadline passes, I am going to still hold out hope that we can get both Porter and Covington and Jang.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario, in my opinion, right now. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if Porter's out, it doesn't really – those guys help, but not enough to balance losing Whiteside and be much better of a team this year.
Yeah.
But then next year you are loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just remembered the bad news that I teased Eric about before
Oh
this.
no.
Okay, so I got bad news. All right. It's personal, but like affects the channel, right? So I got summoned for jury duty. Guess what week I got summoned for jury duty?
Oh no.
The week of the trade deadline.
Oh no.
Because why? Because why not? Why not? I literally got summoned for jury duty the day after Christmas, like 2 years ago. Didn't have to go in, but like it's supposed to be random. My mom was talking about she'd never been summoned for jury duty, and her husband, my stepdad, had only been summoned for jury duty once. You know, they're a lot older than I am. This is my second time in a year and a half. Of course, it has to come on the week of the damn trade deadline. Like, so I'm going to try and get it rescheduled because that's something you can do.
Yeah.
If I couldn't, then maybe it'd be done by then. But God, man.
The last couple times I've had jury duty, I've called the night before and they've never called my number, so maybe I'll get lucky.
How many times has that happened to you?
A couple times.
Yeah,
but then you just get back into circulation for next time. Well, if you do get called and it's not the day of the trade deadline, you just like say something really stupid so they don't pick you for the jury.
Yeah, I gotta figure that out. Man. Because like,
Dame Dollar, man.
If that's like during the what's jury duty?
Come on, man. You're. Yeah.
Is this going to become an education segment on what jury duty is for Dame Dollar? No, just Google it. Tell you're self-employed. Yeah, I'll do it. How old am I? Oh, you're probably talking to Dame Dollar. How old is Dame Dollar? Not knowing what. Dame Dollar's in high school. I think he's a freshman.
No, I think he's an eighth grader.
Or eighth grade. But yeah, if February 6th is an important date for my job, exactly. Like literally, that's the most important date for this channel in like since basically at least since Mello signed. Probably before then. Like that's gonna be huge. I got so much planned for that. So you can get it rescheduled. I'm fine going in if it's like on a week where I don't have to worry anything. If I have to miss podcasts for a week, Eric can run the podcast. I'll teach him how to I'll make the graphics like the night before, and I can teach him how to set them up. You know what I mean? That'd be fine. I'm not trying to miss my damn trade live stream though, because that's gonna be like the views on that are gonna be legit. Like that's gonna be legit, man. Trust me. So of course I got a goddamn jury summons the week starting February 3rd, man. It's like, of course.
Are you being totally honest with us? Is it jury duty or do you have a court date?
No, it's jury duty.
I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you, man.
It's literally...
Live stream the jury duty as a trade deadline special as you talk about all the trades from the jury room.
Yeah, literally, it's right there. Look at that. February 3rd.
Oh, nice. Social security number right there.
Yeah,
there it is.
Nope. I made sure before that, too. Made sure not to show the address. The address isn't even, like, current anymore because I'm out of that place, so I don't even care if y'all see it. But yeah, I'm serving a week in jail. No.
Self-killing.
But you can try and get it rescheduled. That is like a legit possibility that I could have it rescheduled. So I'm going to ask to have it rescheduled. Or hopefully I don't get called in. Or hopefully if I do, it doesn't go through Thursday. God, dude. But of course, man. Like that's my... In such a bad season like this, when I'm just looking forward to the damn trade deadline.
Hey, maybe the Blazers will make the trades early before the trade deadline. Then you.
I'm
covering.
I'm not just covering the Blazers.
Yeah.
I'm covering the whole league. Obviously with an emphasis on the Blazers. But Necron99, what's up, man? Didn't know this was live. If you guys want to know when I go live, I tweet out every time I go live on the Blazers Uprise Twitter account. So at Blazers Uprise, you can follow that account and you can get tweet notifications from that account. Since I don't tweet from that account much, since I don't tweet from that account much, I won't spam your notification feed. So you guys can turn on the account notifications for that, and it will only be like channel related stuff. When I drop a video, that type of stuff. So if YouTube doesn't notify you, because you can also turn on your YouTube notifications, I suggest you do that as well, so you know when I go live. But sometimes they can be kind of buggy, so turn on tweet notifications for that Blazers Uprise Twitter account as well. The username for that Blazers Uprise Twitter account is at Blazers Uprise. So that's how you can know when we go live. My Twitter is at Torrey Jones YT, Torey, since I see my name misspelled almost all the time in chat. Torey Jones YT. Eric is at Hoopsjock, because he's a goddamn hoops jock. So that's what Eric's Twitter handle is. So make sure you go drop them follows.
Hey, I think Zacho said he'll go pretend he's you and
do
Drew.
I want you in the chat, Zacho. I don't want to sacrifice you. I don't think that'd fly either. What about signing Joe Harris in free agency or Gallinari? We won't have the money to sign either of those guys. I mean, maybe we'd have the money to sign Joe Harris, but we'd have to give up all assets. Like, I don't know. Like, it'd be hard to keep Scal in that situation. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe as a mid-level exception guy, but I feel like he'll make a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Our best case scenario is someone who would sign for the full mid-level exception if we had that available. So Joe Harris could fall in that. Let's say we hit him up right away. He's our first visit. You know, sometimes guys appreciate that. And
he's also from the Northwest.
Yeah.
He's from, I forget where, but he's from a small school in Washington. So I'd be down for Joe Harris, man. Because he can play small forward, and he's like an elite shooting threat.
Mm-hmm.
14-year-old finna pull up for jury duty. Yeah, they don't have 14-year-olds do jury duty, man. I honestly,
I know what that was.
I know, I would take that as a joke, but he doesn't know what jury duty is, so so I can't take that as a joke. Damn it, you don't want to go to jury duty, man. It's ridiculous. They compensate you for showing up each day. They'll pay you $10. Sick. Awesome. $10. That's ridiculous. Yeah, anyway. Can we get Glenn Robinson third with our injury exception? I don't think at this point in the season, with how bad we're struggling, that I don't think it's like a huge deal to go after a guy like that now. I feel like if we were to go after a guy like that, it would have been a month ago, and we didn't. Now it's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we will. I don't know. It kind of depends on how this 14-game stretch goes. If we go like 4-10 and end up 20-34, might as well just kiss playoffs goodbye and not even worry about trading for Glenn Robinson. If we go like 7-7, 8-6 somehow, which would be miraculous given how hard this upcoming 14-game schedule is, then we could possibly look at a Glenn Robinson or something like that. But we're 8 games under 500, so.
If we do get to a point where we're out of it, but it's before the trade deadline, we should revisit your I'm going to say his name wrong, Alize Johnson.
No,
Alize Johnson.
Right. It's Alize.
Okay. So those kind of guys, Hernan Gomez type from Charlotte. Just try to get some sort of big that we can give minutes to while we don't have a lot of options there right now, and just hope you get a diamond in the rough and you can sign him long term after the season.
Yep. But anyway, we're gonna wrap up this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna try and get this thing figured out so we can do that trade stream, but I'll keep you guys updated on that for sure. We'll catch you tonight with the post-game show. That'll be live around 9:30 or so. And then tomorrow we're going to hopefully drop a Blazers Pulse episode. That's the plan. Why do you always have to end these things? Because I can't stream 24/7, Trevin. I
And
apologize.
and we'll be back in a few hours, man. What more do you want?
Yeah, we'll be back. Yeah, we'll be back in 4.5 hours or so. So we'll catch you then, hopefully. Also, I was trolling Zacho Calipano on Instagram yesterday. Don't troll Zacho. Zacho's one of the crew. Don't be grouchy tonight. Hey, I'm not gonna be grouchy. I'm already resigned to this team sucking. I was grouchy when I wasn't fully resigned to this team being as bad as they are, but now I'm resigned to this team being bad. So now it's like, oh wow, we lost to the Charlotte Hornets by 20 at home. I wish I saw that coming. Oh wait, I did. There's a reason why I bet Charlotte. Even Portland's 8-point favorites tonight. I bet Charlotte. I think Portland wins this game by like 3 points or something. But if Charlotte wins by 20, okay. Dropping games for topping gains. That's the tank motto. Let's go get Obi-Wan Toppin. Obi-Wan Kenobi needs to save our asses. Let's drop some games for topping gains.
I'm on board the top and train. Yeah.
On board the top. Hey, my tank motto. How do you like my tank motto though? That's a golden tank motto.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I'm trying to tie my shoe right now.
It's a little long, but it's good overall.
Hey.
Hopefully your rhymes are just as good. Use the next couple
Eric
hours
will
to write
literally.
some rhymes.
Eric's really good at like talking for like 2 to 3 minutes, but dropping games for topping gains is too long. All right, bro. What the hell? That's like 7 syllables. Come on, man.
Randall says gamble
that's like
for
one
rain.
line of a haiku, bro.
I'm just teasing you.
Nope, you hate
It's good.
You hate
You know I love OE.
You're hating on my motto. My motto is golden. I need to put it on a t-shirt. I would never put that on a t-shirt. That wouldn't sell. Anyway, probably not going to make the post-game show this time. Why not, man? Oh, don't ever fake cry. I'm about to just like, I'm about to literally just like, there goes his display. There goes his mic. Oh wait, no, that was on the.
Trevin wasn't going to be here.
Oh wait, yeah, I know, but that cry was weird. Anyway, there you go. Oh, I'm in studio mode. I was trying to hide your. Okay, there we go. All right, so Eric is no longer here. I literally was trying, and I was doing it on like other slides on the back end. But I was following Tory Jones, not Uprise. Yeah, follow. If you guys don't want tweet notifications from my account, I 100% don't blame you. I wouldn't put on tweet notifications for my account because I tweet a ton. So I'm not recommending you put tweet notifications on for my account. I'm recommending putting tweet notifications on for the Blazers Uprise Twitter account because that's where I tweet out when I go live. So if you don't get a YouTube notification or you don't want YouTube notifications from this channel, then you can get tweet notifications. They're basically going to be the same thing for the most part, tweeting out when I go live or drop a video. But sometimes YouTube notifications are buggy. So that's just a way you can be guaranteed to get a notification for when we go live. I need to stop drinking soda during this. I keep like try not to, blow up the mic. Anyway, that's a wrap for this post-game show. We'll catch you tonight after this Blazers versus Hornets game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. And until next time, peace out. Go Blazers.